Welcome to the Round 7 AIA Vitality Injury Report. Good news out of a bad loss was that we had no injuries occur from the Essendon game at both levels. I'll just run you through the current rehab list and the return to play as we expect now over the next few weeks. Tay Adams first off, so that high-grade MCL. Tay's tracking really well with the initial phase of recovery. He'll meet with a specialist next week and come out of that brace. And from there, we're looking at a 6 to 7 week turnaround for progression over ground running into function and building into football from there. So, as I say, with Tay, hopefully we're looking at 6 to 7 weeks. His next point of call will be to take off with the surgeon or the specialist, come out of that knee brace and progress over ground from there. Trent Bianco, some really good news for Trent. So he's had a really solid 2 weeks now where he's absorbed some loading outside. There's been minimal swelling on that knee. So Trent now this week will incorporate into the full football program, have 2 heavy football loads this week, aim to main train next week and be available to play next week. So that's a great result for Trent, who's obviously been missing the last 6 weeks, but for him to get back now next week is going to be a huge positive for him and the club. Coxie towards the end of the last quarter in the VFL had some hamstring awareness, was kept off on a conservative route. Had a scan the following day and had a negative scan. So Coxie had a run this morning. He'll soft tissue run tomorrow morning before we get into full training, and we expect Coxie to be available to play this week. Geordie de Goey suffered that severe concussion against West Coast. Was still symptomatic 5-6 days post game. So Geordie now is going through the final stages of testing to be cleared to go into full contact training tomorrow and be available for selection. So you'll get an update by tomorrow, basically, if Geordie's past that final stage by going into full training tomorrow and being cleared to be available. Next, we've got Levi Greenwood again. Levi had a pretty high contact collision off of Nick Naitanui last week in Perth. It was pretty heavy contact. Again, Levi suffered delayed concussion. With Levi suffering multiple concussions in the past, he'll be conservative where he's got a few follow-up protocols to go through at the end of this week. He definitely won't play this week, and we'll update you further with Levi's progress. But due to the severe nature of previous number of concussions that Levi has, it will be one that we will track slowly, and we'll give you an update next week on Levi's progression from that. Jeremy Howe, so really good news with Howie last week. As I spoke about, the fact that he had no strain in that actual hamstring muscle itself, that it was the scar tissue, was a real positive. So he's already started running, so he had a really strong run on Anzac Day morning, getting up to 19-20 k's an hour off a 4k session. This week for Howie, he'll progress into a high volume football session on the Friday or Saturday. Next week, look to incorporate some high speed running, increase his strength in the gym, and look at Howie to be available for the round 9 game against Sydney Swans. So a really good result for Howie, but he's functioning and his strength is really good at this early stage, which is a real positive for Howie. So hopefully, as I say, round 9 we'll see his return to play. Jamie had an Ultra G run yesterday, so that was his first running session. Jamie will then progress overland tomorrow, so he'll be out on the ground tomorrow for his first run on ground. With Jamie, the expected timeline, we're looking at sort of 6 to 7 weeks. So the first few weeks for Jamie, the importance is placed on just a straight line running loads and building that capacity up. So as not to tickle up that ankle injury that he had repaired. So as I say, for Jamie the key will be now getting some straight line loading on ground over the next 2 to 3 weeks, and then progressing into function, speed and agility and football training from there. So as I say, 6 to 7 weeks you'll see Jamie hopefully putting his hand up for return to play. And last one then, off of last week, was Maney. So Chris Main had a calf cork over in Perth. Was still sore on function early in the week when we main trained last week. We decided to go conservative with that, given Maney's age, travel, and the high running loads on that wing over in Perth. Maney was ruled out from playing last week, but had a high quality football session on the Anzac Day morning, and he's available to play this week. So it was a clean bill of health across the 2 games, and as I say, hopefully some positive news from that current injury group, and we'll see that to shorten and shrink over the next few weeks. But onwards and upwards from here, we've got to get back to winning ways. It's been a positive start to the week this morning. Boys will have a really good head out tomorrow in main training, and we'll look for a good game on Friday night with the VFL here, and then Saturday then against the Suns.